Czego? W samochodzie płyn z pryskiwaczy ty używasz czasami?
Znaczy, czasami, ale nie potrzebuję go. Okay.
Chyba nie pił się.
Alright. After a little bit of difficulty with my internet, with the actual internet router and all that, we are back. The main internet that I normally use is absolutely horrible at the moment. It didn't want to run the stream smoothly, and then as well from the session it was kicking me out all the time. It was disaster, an absolute disaster. Apologies for all of this. In the meantime, that's all that was happening. Q1 has already started. Already 5.5 minutes went by, and now we have Yusuf going through the grass, and as well setting at the moment a fastest lap of 14.8, 14.940 in P2. Tom third, 15.631, 13 in P3. Then the two Saubers, Mr. Mine 15.826 in fourth, and then Saros 16.844 in the in P5 as well. We're gonna have Lighty starting his lap, then Buzz starting his lap, and then Oliver as well starting his lap. Bobby is on a lap. On this track, the track limits are going to be very interesting. It's going to be so easy to get them. But we all decided in the mod team, admins, whatever, decided to stick with it. Bobby has backed out of his lap. A little bit of difficulty that the rear kind of going, stepping out for him through the Variante Alta. But anyways, it's gonna be doing a cooldown lap. It's gonna be going for another lap next lap. Leon not on a lap, Yusuf not on a lap, Lighty on a flyer. Apparently fastest through the second sector, but of course that should be the fastest. Fine through the final two corners, and Lighty's gonna cross the line with 13.953, 9/10 faster than Yusuf. Buzz, where's he gonna? Oh, he actually invalidated it, it seems. Yes, 17.173, and it did not pop up, so yeah, that is invalidated. Dylan has invalidated. Oliver goes P4, 15.539 in the V-carb. Then Bobby, no, that's not Bobby, that's Faisal finishing his lap, and he goes P4, 15.282 in the Aston Martin. Then Breaking Bad is going to start his flyer. Maxine is going to start his flyer. Dylan is, I think he's going to start his flyer behind him as Sauber goes into the pits. His teammate Kettle is going to start a flyer. Bobby invalidated. Oliver, no, that's not Oliver, that is Brandon starting a lap. There's many on that are starting a lap. Breaking Bad first sector, 23.803 through the first sector. Don't really have any sort of clue where would that be. Breaking Bad now through the Aqua Minerale and up the hill on the exit, going into Variante Alta. Buzz goes fourth, 15.218. Breaking Bad second sector, 49.205 through Variante Alta, and now into the two final corners. I never can remember these names. These two names, or it's technically one. Like, it's something very easy that I forget always. Breaking Bad is gonna go P2, just behind his championship rival Lighty. 13.976. Then Max Van at third, 14.551. And he goes third. Then the two Haas drivers. Dylan goes into the pits. Kettle, where's he gonna be? He's gonna be well, last. Not technically last, but last from the drivers. That's, I mean, that I expected, you could say. Goes 13th, 16.867. Ryan is starting his lap on the mediums. Interesting strategy by the Red Bull driver. Red Bulls at the moment, last time out in was that it was not Great Britain, it was Suzuka. They got good influx of points after Yusuf got that P3. Vossi goes in the meantime P3, 14.288. But yeah, after many, I mean, disastrous first two rounds, they got at least a podium, but they are still just now in front of Haas and Sauber. They still have a long way to go to probably go P3 in the standings. I mean, that's their probably target. Ryan and Yusuf, realistically, you don't really think that they're gonna challenge for the in like Lighty, Breaking Bad, Vossi and Max Van territory. So they should at least get P5, P6, at least somewhere there. Ryan, in the meantime, goes P10, 15.302. And he goes P10. And he's safe. Still, Bobby needs to do a lap. Well, he has done a lap technically, but he still needs to do a lap that actually represents his time. But he's probably just pushing the limits a little bit too hard. Jamie as well has invalidated his lap. He's trying to do another lap. Bobby goes into the pits. Dylan and Dome still have a time to do. Dylan already was already doing his laps, but unfortunately, invalidations on this track are just pain in the ass. Dome hasn't gone out of his garage yet, unless he has exited the pit box while I wasn't here. Could have been a possibility. And Dome has started his lap. Jamie 24.275 through the first sector, through Piratella, and then into Aqua Minerale, the first and then the second. Back in the 90s, there was a chicane actually in Aqua Minerale. This Variante Alta was way faster at one point. They made it slower now. Second sector for Jamie, 50.036. Now to these two final corners. The first one and then into the second one. And then just run down to the finish line. What's it going to be at 15.401. 1/10 behind Ryan in P11. It isn't too bad for Jamie. Of course, his teammate Panda is almost half a second in front of him in P7, but it's still a decent outing, decent first lap for Jamie. It's not looking good for Dom at the moment. Close to the white lines. Of course, on this track, the white lines are a little bit deceiving and all that. But Dome goes P5, 14.857, 6,000 in front of Yusuf. So in a pretty good position, Dome is. Still a lot behind his teammate Breaking Bad, but comparing Breaking Bad and Dome the comparison is unfair in my opinion. The comparison is very much unfair. Yusuf on a flying lap, yet another one. Problems through the Villeneuve chicane on the exit into Tossa. 75 thousandths down his time. Now up the hill through turn 8 and then into turn 9, that is Piratella. Then turn 10 and then the 2 corners, Aquaman Raleigh 11, 12. The rear is a little bit snapping away from Yusuf. Aquaman Variante Alta, he's almost 2 tenths down his time. He's really sent it through Variante Alta, but he has invalidated it on the exit of the corner. I'm going too wide on the exit, of course. And that's him. His lap invalidated. I mean, that lap was not looking good. He was already 2 tenths down going into Variante Alta. And unfortunately, his lap is done. Bobby needs to do his lap, unless he wants to be out of Q1. That is, of course, if he wants to. He's out on the mediums, though, so it's a little bit interesting. Dylan, in that time when I was yapping, has gone P17, 15.884 in the horse. I don't think he's in P17, so it's not the position that he wants to be. Anyone else on a lap? Not really. Mr. Mine could have been on a lap. He's half a second up on his lap, though. So he could be on an actually decent time. Could go somewhere close to Jamie. Actually, at the moment, with half a second, he's going in front of Jamie. So he could be actually going somewhere around Ryan's territory, which is going to be interesting. Through the final corner. And then just run down to the finish line. ERS, DRS open, and where's he gonna go? He's gonna go P13, 2,000 behind Jamie. And he goes P13, and Bobby in this time, he's not improving his time, but of course at some point in the sector, decided to back out. He's 2 tenths down his time, but 49.773 is good. He just needs to complete this lap, just go easy on this final bit of sector, which are these two corners basically. Just stay away from the white lines, take it easy like this, and then you're gonna make it to the Q2, and he does P5, 14.653. Unfortunately, he had to go a little bit easy on that lap, but still made it through into P5, so he should be easily in there. Now the two V-Corps are in the not in a good position. Brandon has already invalidated his lap. Oliver is just 65 thousandths up on his time, so he's going to be going only in front of a teammate, which is of course not the thing that he wants to have. Mr. Mine is a little bit of a bad spot. 2,000 behind Jamie. The same with Ryan and Jamie. They are not in a good position. Faisal could be out of this as well. Behind Jamie, there's a little bit going on. There's a mass amount of traffic. For Saro, there's a little bit of carbon fiber flying off in the background. Wondering what from whose car could that be. But there's definitely some carbon fiber going through there. That was Yusuf's carbon fiber. So, well, his lap that he wanted to do is basically gone. Sorrow, he's only hundreds up on his time. It's not looking like he's gonna be able to make anything. In that time, Oliver has gone P12, 15.296. Still not really a position that you wanna be, especially with the gaps being so close. Tom is up on his time by 2 tenths. 50.083 through the second sector is a good time to have. Almost invalidates his lap, and as he's gonna cross line, he's only going P14, 15.341. Basically everyone, no, actually Oliver is done with his time. Brian is on his lap. Tom is not on his lap. Jamie is. Mr. Mine is out of qualifying. Brandon is still in it. Sorrow is done with his time. Dylan is done with his time. Kettle, half a second, and he has spun it. He's out of it as well. Brandon, he's up on his time by 2 tenths. So he's actually doing, he's actually going to be going in front of Jamie, but that's only P15. This is not enough for Brandon. Unless, I mean, people behind, basically Jamie is going to bottle it. Brandon, where is he gonna go? He's gonna go P10, 15.085. The master of Imola goes into Q2 since he has taken a podium every single season that this race has been driven. Mr. Mine out, Sorrow out. So the only one that can dethrone Tom is Jamie. With that gap, it's not gonna be enough, and he goes P12 easily, 15.266. And it is Jamie in Q2. Ryan is as well gonna finish his lap, and he should be easily in, yes, P6, 14.772. So it is, surprisingly, Tom out of Q1, then the two Staubers, and then the two Haas's. The normal Q1 outings in the first part of qualifying are the two Haas's, and then Sorrow, and then sometimes it's Mr. Mine, not always, but sometimes. For example, in Suzuka, actually, Mr. Mine went through into Q2, but then issues related with the game only managed to him start in P15, but after that he finished in P8. But still, P17 at the moment only for Mr. Mine, disappointingly, of course. Massive potential in this driver, but just cannot really take the advantage out of this John Deere. But a big surprise as well is that Tom is out of qualifying in that Alpine. Not a big surprise that Kettle is out. He's a second behind his teammate Dylan, who has barely driven this game at all. He's barely driven this game at all. So in the top, it is Lighty, Breaking Bad, Volsi, Max Fan, Bobby, Ryan, Dome, Yusuf, Leo, and Panda running off the top 10. And then it's Brandon, Boss, Jamie, Faisal, Oliver, the final one to go through. And then it's, like I said, Tom, Mr. Mine, Sorrow, Dylan, and Kettle out of qualifying already in Q1. Like I said, Haas are pretty much the norm, as well as Sorrow are the norm to go out. Mr. Mine, it's, I think, round 1 he went out, maybe round 2, round 3 he definitely, lovely. I mean, at least it's not, I mean, great. This is great news for Mr. Mine because he's left the session. Lovely. So yeah, we go now into Q2. This part of Q2, this is good time for me to talk about the championship, because I didn't have any sort of time to talk about it at all. All right. So in the standings, Lighty has taken the championship lead by just 1 point. In front of Breaking Bad, with Breaking Bad's puncture in the final stages of the Grand Prix. He finished P5. P5? Yeah, P5. And with Lighty's win, that meant that means that Breaking Bad is 1 point behind him. Then it is Bobby and Brandon with the same amount of points, which is 442. Then Leo 36, Dome 33, Panda 32, Max Fan 30, Oliver 26, and then Tom 24. In the constructors, Ferrari are still leading in the championship by just 2 points in front of McLaren. Then it's VCarb, Aston Martin, Alpine, Williams, then a big gap from Williams to Red Bull. 55 points have Williams, 27 Red Bull, then 24 Sauber, 16 Haas, and then 14 are Mercedes. Yay. Okay, Bobby and Yusuf are having a massive argument about what happened. Because apparently that carbon fiber, like I said, it was from Yusuf, but it was from contact between Yusuf and Bobby. And yeah. And no, Dylan, I don't think I violated you or anything. I don't think so. Leo goes provisionally P1, but now it should be Max Van going P1 with 14.050, almost a second in front of Leo. Buzz goes P3, 15.398 on the mediums, the only one on the mediums. Oliver, Panda, and Brandon are still in the pits. Then Breaking Bad has invalidated his lap. Not good for Breaking Bad. Ryan goes P2, 14.973, so just 14 thousandths between Ryan and Leo. Behind him it is Volsey on a lap. He hasn't backed out of the lap, so he's still pushing. Still pushing, and on the exit of the final corner, run down to the finish line, he's gonna go P2, 14.565 in the Mercedes. So it's half a second behind Max Van. I mean, there's still probably time for Volsey, but it's a massive gap. Then Jamie starts his lap. Leo goes into the pits. Lighty is gonna probably finish his lap now, and he should be going P1. No, P2 actually. 14.303 by Lighty. Then the Ferrari of Dome is gonna start his lap. No, that's Boz going into the pits. Faisal is gonna finish his lap unless he bottles it in these final corners, close to the white lines. Close to the white lines, a little bit too close to the white lines, in my opinion, although his lap is not looking great. 16.545 by Faisal, 1.5 tenths behind Boz. That is a massive gap between them, and a massive snap on the exit of turn 2 and 3. It's not looking great for Faisal. Breaking Bad, 15.376 without fuel. So he did that. So he did his lap without fuel. He definitely has some time in that lap. If he's run out of fuel now, Yusuf, he has invalidated his previous lap, and now he's doing his lap. Panda doesn't know that Yusuf only now starts his lap. Hopefully this doesn't mean that it's gonna be the same with. It was last time out, like Bobby and then someone from the back. Someone like Bobby and then someone from the rear of the pack. I do not remember. Panda overtakes Yusuf as he invalidates once again on his lap. Terrible by Yusuf at the moment. Panda 23.789 through the first sector. Panda is cooking in Imola. He's always cooked, but he just couldn't show it, show his pace. This game is not, he isn't cooking as much as in the previous games, unfortunately. Second sector, just don't stop, I guess. Oliver in front going slow, but he's going to be starting his lap. Panda were through the final 2 corners, Rivazzas, yeah, now I remember. The 2 Rivazzas, and then Rivazza, I don't remember. Panda goes P8 behind his teammate Jamie, 15.228. Still, he has time on the lap, of course, but still behind, nonetheless. Jamie's gonna he's gonna give toe to Yusuf because they are friends, so that's sort of understandable. Jamie gives toe to Yusuf, so that's gonna give some time to Yusuf, but he immediately throws that advantage away through the Tamburello as he goes wide on the exit of turn 2 and 3 and goes on the gravel, spins around there, of course because of the loss of grip, and he still has not done a good lap. He hasn't done a single lap that would count to the leaderboard, and now with that, of course, he ain't gonna do anything. Jamie, of course, now definitely remembers to put that fuel thing on. Yusuf almost runs into the back of Jamie. Lovely. At the moment, no one on a flyer. The closest one is actually Yusuf. I mean, technically he's still on a flyer. He hasn't invalidated it yet. Now he has. So now the closest one is Ryan. Unless Yusuf decides to do another one, although, I mean, he has fuel, so he can do another lap. It's just that if he wants to, and he's gonna do a flying lap yet again, then it's gonna be Ryan, so the two Red Bulls are gonna be doing laps in a row. Yusuf through Tamburello, is he gonna bin it yet again? Yep. Track limits. This time it is track limits. Yusuf is having a horrible time through Tamburello. First time it was the flippin' going off track. This time it is track limits. It could have been BS, it could have been not, but still track limits nonetheless. Ryan on a flyer. Behind them it is, or behind Ryan now, it is the two Ferraris, and those are the only cars out there on track. Mr. Mine has joined back on the session, still has to wait like 18 minutes, 19 minutes. Ryan through the second sector has he lost time? Yes, he has. At 10 down in time, he obviously needs to do a better lap, since there's Yusuf still need to do a lap, Bobby still needs to do a lap, and Breaking Bad needs to do a lap, and probably some like drivers like Leo and Panda can do a better lap. So he really needs to improve that lap if he wants to be safely through. He hasn't invalidated through the Rivazzas, and is he going to be able to improve by just 11 thousandths of a second? That isn't going to be enough to go through into Q3 unless something ridiculous happens. Breaking Bad, now that he has fuel to go to the end of the lap, he should be now easily going through into Q3 with this lap, unless he invalidates it. Through Villeneuve, looked like he was going wide, but no, he didn't. At least like off track, he is gaining through the first sector by half a tenth, so that's good. Of course, there was a major loss of time through the third sector because he had no fuel. I come in Raleigh, nicely done. Ryan needs to let Breaking Bad through, but it doesn't seem like he wants to let him through. Breaking Bad at 10th up, but this Red Bull in front of him could be actually distracting Ryan. I mean, he's not raced. I mean, I don't know why Ryan decided to not let Breaking Bad through, even though, I mean, he's not on a lap. Breaking Bad now through the final corners, and now it should be easily to almost go P1. Yes, he does actually go P1. 13.3832. So he goes P1 by 2 tenths in for the Max fan. Dome, where is he gonna go? Has he invalidated? Yes, he has actually invalidated it. Not good by Dome. He is in a better position than Ryan, since he's 2 tenths in front of Ryan. But still, would be a good time to improve that lap by a tenth, a 2. just to have a buffer for the next laps that drivers are doing. Boss is improving by 2.5 tenths, so it's good for him. At the moment, he is going into Q3 with 2.5 tenths up on his time. He would be in front of Panda, definitely. Not, it could be actually in front of Jamie as well. But of course, there's still this sector. He's half a second up on his time. So he's on a good lap. He's on a good lap. Just needs to not invalidate it through Variante Alta. The lap could have been so good. He could have been in front of Ryan, but he just bottled it through Variante Alta. And now should have just gone into the pits. Although if you have ERS, probably not. Oh no, he actually has a lot. So he can actually do a lap. Dome has invalidated? No, but he's gonna do another lap. He's gonna do another lap. Then plenty of drivers on their laps. Yusuf, this time he doesn't bin it through Tamburello. So that's a good progress. Let's look at Yusuf's first sector. What's it gonna be? 24.040. And it's not a great first sector. Boss has done a faster first sector. Boss, of course, on a flyer. In front of him, there's one of the Williamses. That's Jamie on a lap. Jamie, of course, Boss would like Jamie to let him through, and he does. Boss is not on a flyer. And his next lap, he won't be on a flyer. He's out of fuel, so the first lap that he invalidated, could have been actually into Q3, but unfortunately he won't be able to make it. He hasn't got enough fuel to go. Yusuf through the Ravatsas. Is he going to go into Q3 with his time that he is going to set? But 15.008. That is even worse than Ryan, and there's still Leo on a lap. This is a disaster for the Red Bulls. Leo goes P4, 14.464. Beautiful lap by Leo. The V-Carb of Brandon goes P7, 14.894. Beats both of the Red Bulls. There's still Ryan on a lap, but Yusuf is not going to be on a lap. He could be actually out of this quali. Panda needs to rush. No, he's not actually got. He has enough time, but Panda could be as well out of qualifying. Panda is out of qualifying. Jamie is out of qualifying as well. Boss is as well out of qualifying. Bobby is the only one, and Oliver is still in there. So one of the Red Bulls are gonna be out of this qualifying. And I think it is going to be Oliver because he's not on a lap. Yes, it could be Oliver out of qualifying. Since Boss is not on a lap. Faisal done. Panda done. Jamie done as well. And Bobby just is bloody quick. So he just needs to do a semi-good lap. It's not really semi-good. Just an average lap for him. Yeah, 49.540. He just needs to calm it down through this final sector. And he's going to be easily through, and Oliver is going to be out of qualifying. The Red Bulls are very lucky, since Ryan as well invalidated. So, yeah, Oliver is going to be out of qualifying unless Bobby, I don't know, somehow lost so much time. Yeah, now he is actually through. So it is Oliver, Jamie, Panda, Buzz, and Faisal out of Q2. And the two Red Bulls are very lucky to be into Q3. Their laps, they were not good. 14.961. It ain't good, mate. It's not looking good for them. It's not looking good. Yet again, it's not looking good for them for another time. And yeah. And yeah. So yeah, it is Breaking Bad, Max Van, Lighty, Leo, Volsi, Dome, Bobby, Brandon, Ryan, and Yusuf into Q3. And then it is Oliver, Jamie, Panda, Boss, and Faisal out of Q2. So yeah, should be very interesting Q3. The master of Imola, Brandon, is in there. There's Volsi, Dome, Leo, the two McLarens, and Breaking Bad. I wouldn't be really surprised if Red Bulls would be lost in here, in this Q3. Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if they would be lost. Like, Yusuf's and Ryan's performances this season, they haven't been great. Neither Jay's, because he has reserved for them, and Jay hasn't even scored like points or anything for Red Bull. Or if something he scored, then a little bit. Now, of course, Red Bull is not as dominant on this game. It apparently, like, McLaren is the fastest on this game, which it replicates the real life. But still ridiculous how Yusuf and Ryan are just underperforming that car. I mean, of course, I'm not really expecting them to be on level like Volsi, Max Fan, Lighty, Breaking Bad, maybe even Bobby, because I mean Bobby is just I'm not gonna say anything, but still behind Dome, Brandon, and just about going into Q3. That ain't good, mate. That ain't good. This is not looking good for the Red Bulls at all. For the whole season, I mean, Mercedes at least has Volsi up there. They really don't have a second car. Second car up there. They're literally like Red Bull in real life. They don't have the second car. The second car is just, I don't know, somewhere there, in the background, in the reserves or somewhere, in the basement. They only have that one car that actually performs, and it's Volsi. Red Bull, they are sort of in the, like, they were average. They haven't been at all good this season. But okay, enough of the Red Bull rant. And let's focus to the flying laps. Max Van on a flying lap through Tamburello, turn 2, turn 3, and then into the turn 4. Then into the Villeneuve chicane, which are turn 5 and then 6. Yeah, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but still managed to save it into Tosa now. 23.852 through the first sector he got. Obviously he can go faster because of that mistake, and he invalidates his lap through Piratella, and his lap is done. Lighty, his lap is not done, although a little bit wide through Aqua Minerali. 49.178 still through the second sector. Now the third sector, and he's gone off track as well, but he somehow manages to keep it in. Track limits are off, but or he went off track and he's invalidated through the Ravazzas. So basically, it's sort of a karma for trying to avoid the track limits. Is Max Van on another lap? No, he won't. No, he isn't. The next one to be on the lap would have been Breaking Bad, but he's invalidated as well. Ryan invalidated as well. So unless Leo bottles it to the final corner, which he doesn't, he's going to be the first guy to actually complete the lap. and it's going to be a 14.593 in the Alpine, a decent time. Of course, like 1.5 tenths slower than his first lap, but of course you just want to put a lap on the board for the first lap. Bobby is going to be starting his flying lap. Yusuf is on a flyer, hasn't invalidated it yet. Behind him is Brandon. Has he invalidated? No, he hasn't. Yusuf, he's going to go P2, 14.684. That is a way better looking time than he did in Q2. Brandon third with well, like, that's 18 seconds of the pace. Dome goes provisional pole position, 14.353. Then we have Bobby, 23.954. Of course, there's Max Van, Vossi, Breaking Bad, and Lighty. They all have invalidated the top 4 that are in the contention for the championship. They have all invalidated it. So at the moment, it's just second drivers in there. Bobby, 49.509 through the second sector. He's not invalidated through the Variante Alta. And now into the Revatzes. The first one, and then into the second one. He's not invalidated. Hasn't invalidated on the exit of the final corner. Should go P1. He's not P1. 14.359. And he's half a tenth, not even that. He's 400ths behind Dome. So Dome has actually done a very good job in his home Grand Prix, and as well in the Ferrari's home Grand Prix. Of course, we have Lighty, Breaking Bad, Volsy, and Max Van soon coming out, or doing their laps. Max Van coming out of the pits, of course. Well, he hasn't gone out of the pits yet, but you get what I mean. Then Breaking Bad, and then soon there'll be Volsy, but he's just starting the second sector. Lighty through Tamburello. Very nicely, of course. Not nicely, I mean that he didn't invalidate. He probably could have just cut to the first and the second and third corners more like that. He did in Villeneuve. 23.709 through the first sector. Breaking Bad, what's his first sector gonna be? Didn't cut that first part of the Villeneuve as much, but he's still a little bit faster than Lighty, 23.685, and Lighty has invalidated it through Piratella. And Breaking Bad, let's see with him, he is not invalidated through the Piratella. Now into Akram Raleigh. Nicely done, at least enough so that he didn't invalidate it. Second sector, 48.831, the first 48 that I've seen so far. Little bit of a oversteer through Variante Alta, but that's just what I see every single flipping time through there. Now into the Revatas. This lap is an absolute flyer at the moment, what I'm seeing. On the exit final corner, oh, so close to the white lines, and then DR is open. It's gonna be a 13.554 for Breaking Bad, 8 tenths faster than his teammate Dome. And at the moment, it is a Ferrari 1 and 2 in Imola, but there's still Lighty, who needs to do a lap. He's invalidated once again, but I don't think he would have gone for a flyer. There's a Volsy on a flyer still. There's still Max Van who needs to do a lap, and Ryan needs to do a lap, so he can maybe take down the 1 and 2. Volsy not looking for a great lap, 50.412, and he's invalidated the lap as well. So at the moment it's not looking like he's going to be anywhere near that. Breaking Bad went almost 2 seconds faster than his second sector. So yeah, 4 minutes to go. There's still Volsy who needs to do a lap, Max Van, Lighty, and Ryan who needs to do a lap. And as well, a way better lap needs to do Brandon. 33.220 is not going to be enough. Although, I mean, if he decides that, yeah, I'm not going to be fighting with these lads and save my tires, then of course you can do that. But, you know, it's really up to them if they want to waste a set for one position up. I mean, of course, for someone like Lighty, Yusuf, Leo, it makes sense. And pretty much everyone else in in Q3, it makes sense to do another lap because they can improve probably on it. Well, I mean, definitely Max Van, Ryan, Volsey, and Lighty, they can definitely improve on their laps because they haven't set us a single one. But you know, for Brandon, I mean, the maximum that he could be actually up by a position could be like one position, and he could just waste a tire set for the race like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really up to them. He's gone out of the pit, so he's actually he's going to be doing a lap. I was speculating all of this for nothing. You could say. Almost everyone is out of the pit garages. There's still one of the Ferraris that's Breaking Bad still in the pits. It's gonna be coming out of the pits, maybe soon. Maybe. No. I mean, he could just think that's enough. That's the best lap that I could have done. He could have just done that. No, he's coming out. So everyone is gonna be out on there. First one to be on the lap is gonna be Leo. Then, of course, if this goes like this, then it's gonna be Max Van, Volsey, Dome, and then you know that. We will see. Leo starting his flyer. In front of him there's Breaking Bad, but Breaking Bad is quite far in front of him, so it's not gonna distract him at all, even if that. Leo through Tamburello, turn 2, 3, and then 4, and then heading into the Villeneuve chicane 5 and 6. And the exit very nicely, 23.785 through Tossa. He is 1/10 up on his time. Then up the hill into turn 8, and then into Piratella, turn 9. Very quick left. You need to watch out for the track limits. And then into the Aquaman Raleigh, 11, and then 12, 13. If that's how I think the numbers go. He's 3/10 up on his time into Variante Alta now. And very nicely done. Hasn't invalidated it. That's important. He is up on his time massively. He could, if he gains a lot through this final sector, he could be actually up on his time into 13th in an Alpine. He's gonna cross the line. And where's he gonna go? He's gonna go 14.112, goes P2, breaks that Ferrari 1 and 2, then the McLaren of Max Van goes into the pits, he's invalidated once again. Dome, can he go P2? No, he can't. P3, 14.231. Volsey hasn't done his lap, he's invalidated it. Brandon, he stays P6, 14.862. Then behind, Lighty on a flyer, but 49.031, and he's invalidated. 2 McLarens done. They are done in this qualifying. Ryan, no, sorry, that's Yusuf behind, has invalidated. He did have a better time. He could have gone P4, but he's done. Bobby, where's he gonna go? P2, 14.041. And Ryan goes P5, 14.540. Volsey is still going to be trying to do a sort of a lap, since he's going to be in front of his championship rivals, Max Van and Lighty. But Breaking Bad, unless Volsey is going to somehow improve his lap, Breaking Bad improves on his lap, even though he was 2/10 down through the second sector, still manages to improve his lap by a 10th. Volsey, 49.257, so he's actually on a decent lap. Close to the track limits. And now run down to the finish line. He's going to go P2, 13.879. Wonderful by Volsey, goes P2. And it is Breaking Bad on pole position here in the Ferrari's home Grand Prix. In the Grand Prix that is named by the Ferrari. Autodromo di Edino Ferrari, whatever it says. way too long name to remember. They have done it in their home soil. Vosi P2, Bobby P3, Leo P4, Dom P5, then 2 Red Bulls, P6, P7, and then the V-Carb of Brandon in P8, and then the most importantly, 2 McLarens in P9 and P10 because of invalidations, because of the track limits. They have been caught by the track limits, by the awful track limits. They can say whatever they want, but it's equal for everyone and all that. So, I mean, if he says that the track limits are BS, then he can, if I remember right, of course, these are. If I remember wrong, then apologies, but if I remember this way, that Lighty was saying that it doesn't matter, like, it's equal for everyone, but then now he's going to be complaining on all that, then he can only really blame himself about that decision to keep Imola in the calendar and not race somewhere else. So now, into the race. In this race, there's going to be one important thing, and that is about track limits. They're already pain in the ass, but now with these track limits that are in the game here in Imola, they're even more pain in the ass. So they're basically very strict track limits, you could say, at certain places. So it is going to be very difficult for drivers to not get a penalty. I mean, if someone gets no penalties, then hats off. But yeah, if someone gets a penalty, then, I mean, almost everyone is going to get a penalty. So yeah, I don't know if the formation lap is on. We will see. We'll see. But yeah, overtaking opportunities, only turn 1 really. Toss others as well. And then the first corner of the Ravazza. First, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out. And away you go here in the Italian Grand Prix. Well, not really Italian Grand Prix. Breaking Bad gets a decent start. At least enough decent that he keeps his P1 behind Dome already up into P4 in front of Leo off the start. Behind the 2 Red Bulls already sort of switching positions. There goes one of the Saubers that's missed the mine. Gets caught by the Tamburello section, and he's many seconds behind Dylan, but in front, Breaking Bad still keeps his lead in P1. Vossi P2, pretty much the top 3 stay the same, and pretty much the top 10 stays the same, besides Oliver overtaking both of the McLarens of the start. The 2 McLarens are down in P10 and P11. Lightsy, who is as well, like, his record on this track is very good, is a very good record on this track. He's down in P11. Well, I mean, he is on the like hard combat of tires, so that's sort of explainable, but still down in P11 and got overtaken by Oliver as well as Max Van got overtaken by Oliver. Oliver is going to be under attack by Max Van, who's using his ERS, tries to go for the move. He of course needs to go for the move. He has a faster car. He knows that he has probably better skill, that better pace overall, but he just at the moment cannot get him on lap 2 into Tamburello. He's going to have to send it maybe into Tossa. He has a good run. He's going to send it. He's sending it into Tossa, and he is in front of him, although Oliver is going to get back on him on the exit of Tossa, and now into the Piratella. Max Van is in front, but Oliver is in front all of a sudden. Max Van has backed out of the move into the Piratella, and Oliver keeps his P9, crucial P9. Of course, this helps his teammate Brandon a lot, and the Red Bull family a lot. Ryan, the other one, to be on the hard combat of tire. The rest are on the mediums. I don't. Oh, Bobby a little bit sliding into the first Ravazza, a little bit of lost time there, but still in P3. Dome doing a decent job, being in P4 of the line, like I said, of the line, getting P4. Volsi close beyond Breaking Bad, but of course, the DRS straight on the straight is a massive one. Yusuf already a 3-second time penalty on lap 3. Yeah, there's gonna be a very long race for Yusuf. Breaking Bad, not really good with the ERS at the moment. Volsi is looking a little bit better with the ERS. He's pretty much half with that ERS. Breaking Bad has almost less than 10%. He's in the 10% region. Volsi needs to take advantage of this, but he needs to be close as well to overtake him into the main straight. There's only one DRS straight as well. Behind, Oliver and Max Van are scrapping a little bit through Akram and Raleigh, but Oliver is still keeping it in P9, but I think it's gonna come now to the end, although he's still going side by side, but now he backs off into the second corner of Variante Alta, and Oliver is behind one of the McLarens, and he's going to be behind the second McLaren of Lighty, so his positions that he gained on the opening lap in the opening corners are gone, but honestly, is it two McLarens, one of the fastest drivers at the moment in this division. So can you blame? No, you cannot really blame. Oliver as well is very quick. Volsi though, Volsi off the track through Tamburello. I saw the massive gravel cloud up in the sky on the exit of turn 4, and he probably made a mistake through there. He's lost a positions to Bobby, Dome and Leo. He's down in P5. It's not a great start for Volsi either at the moment. This is all great for Breaking Bad because now no one is breathing up his arse with the DRS. So now he can just pull away from Bobby because as well as Bobby doesn't have the greatest of paces compared to Breaking Bad. Volsi was the only one to keep that in there, but now it's not looking great, and Breaking Bad is extending that lead. Volsi getting a 3-second as well behind. Yusuf almost lost it on the exit of the Rivatzes. There's gonna be a very long race for some cars that already have a mass amount of penalties. Dome close to Bobby, but he's not close enough to send for a move. Pretty much nothing much happening besides behind. There's a massive gap from Dylan to Faisal. Dylan in front of Sorrow, and Boss as well is in front of Tom. Panda a little bit stuck down in here. Meanwhile, in front, there's a move. Dome losing positions to Leo and Volsi. Now he's getting caught in this ghosting thing. Of course, now every single one of these drivers wants to be in front of Dome, as well as Dome himself. But now the ghosting has gone off, so he's not gonna be able to. No one will be able to go through him or Dome through all the drivers. But Dome has lost the position to Leo and Volsi, and he's getting harassed by Yusuf. Around the outside of the first Ravazza, trying to keep it in there. Yusuf tried to squeeze him on the inside of the second Ravazza so that Dome would get a bad run on there on the exit. But Dome is still in front of him, although now Yusuf gets the slipstream, uses all of his ERS, but as well as Dome. And Dome is still going to keep that P5. Meanwhile, behind, nothing much happening. In front, though, Leo is in front of Bobby. While all of this is happening, Breaking Bad has already extended his lead to 3.6 to 3.7 seconds, max on 3-second time penalty. Bobby is a little bit struggling on the braking, it seems. He's struggling a lot in the braking. He's sliding a lot into the first Ravazza, and it seems that he's sliding a lot into the Tossas as well. He's already Volsi is already right behind him. He just about has the DRS on Leo, although the DRS detection zone is still not here. It's on the exit of the Variante Alta, and then a little bit after that. At the moment, Snot is in there. He's trying to get in there. Nope. Bobby is not within that DRS zone, so Leo is free from Bobby. But of course, Leo almost, Volsi almost, it seems like he went into the back of Bobby, or at least he had a master snap. Now with the DRS, he's going to be able to easily pass Bobby on this straight, on the left. Dome, is he going to go for the move as well? He's closing, Bobby defends the inside. Dome tries to go around the outside, but into the Tamburello, it's kind of hard to go side by side, and Dome has to back out of it. Dome stays in P5, but Bobby drops down to P4. Yusuf still behind Dome, but is he going to go for the move? No, he won't. He's not going for the move on Dome. On the inside, he kind of tried to go around the outside, but no. Oh, the two Red Bulls, side by side. Ryan backs out of it. Good decision. In the meantime, Max Van and... well, I don't know that only Max Van has overtaken Brandon. Lighty is still behind Brandon. Brandon is, of course, within that DRS, so he's not able to overtake him as easily. And as well, Lighty has those hearts, so... he's going to be slower in these opening laps. But I don't think he's going to be able to really catch up to Breaking Bad as easily. And Breaking Bad is breaking away from Leo. Volsi has the DRS on Leo. Bobby, does he have the DRS? No, he doesn't. Bobby is having massive problems with his pace. Volsi gets the overtake done on Leo, as well does Dome on Bobby. Yusuf almost tries to go for the move on Bobby. Yusuf on Bobby. And Ryan, he's dropped down massively from P7 down to P10 behind Brandon. Lighty gets Brandon. He's in front of Brandon. Max Van almost... I think Max Van was trying to go for the move on Ryan. There could have been something between those two. Between Max Van and Ryan. Of course, unclear. I didn't see that clearly. At least in my eyes. Buzz gets a 3 second, as well as both of the horses have 3 seconds, like that I see. But yeah, the McLarens are going up through the field slowly but surely. But of course, on this track, it's very difficult to overtake. Yusuf is trying to go for the move on Bobby into the Ravatsas. And he's going to be in front of Bobby. Bobby just a little bit of touch, but as well, he's struggling on the braking. His rear is getting a little bit loose on the brakings. Yusuf has the DRS, so it's easier for him to defend from Bobby. But Bobby has to defend from Max Van. And Max Van just already passed him. And as well, Max Van is almost going to overtake Yusuf. But Yusuf defends a little bit aggressively from Max Van. Max Van already up to P6. Lighty has got up to Bobby. I know of this. Brandon, Ryan spun through the Tamburello. Yet again, Ryan having an absolute horrible race. In the meantime, Max Van in front has overtaken Yusuf into the Tossa, and Yusuf spins himself in the Tossa. There could have been contact between Bobby getting some damage, but Red Bulls from having a good position, or a decent position at least, to now 15 and 16. Oh my goodness me, and Ryan, Yusuf spinning around, Ryan getting a 3 second time penalty. These guys don't seem confident at all in this season. They don't seem to be confident at all. Yusuf now joins into this fight between the two horses and Sorrow. This is a little bit embarrassing now, I say. Dome is gonna get the overtake done on Leo on this straight easily. Jamie 3 seconds, and Dome is back up into the podium places. Volsi as well back into the P2, but the two McLarens are close to these two in front, which actually three. Meanwhile, behind, Brandon overtakes Bobby. Bobby mistake, it seems. He was in a second in front of Brandon, and now he's all of a sudden 1.3 seconds behind Brandon. So a mistake from Bobby, it seems. And as well, Yusuf in front of Kettle. but not looking great for the Red Bulls. Boss yet again a 3-second time penalty. The two McLarens are close. They are within the 1 second of Leo, and of course the 1 second within each other. So they are actually working together as they should. And of course Dome is gonna be close on Vossi. He's gonna have the DRS, but is he gonna be able to overtake him on this straight? It's gonna be a question that is gonna be answered soon. Dome is using his ERS, he's trying to go for the attack on the outside, and he has done it around the outside, and it's for this time briefly a Ferrari 1 and 2. In the meantime, Bobby goes into the pits, but it is a Ferrari 1 and 2. Vossi almost tried to go for the overtake on Dome between the Tamburello and Villeneuve-Schijn. But yeah, it is at the moment a Ferrari 1 and 2. Meanwhile, behind Boss is in front of Tom. The train behind Oliver is just massive from Oliver to Jamie, Buzz, Tom, Panda, Ryan, and Faisal. So it is a big train that the V-Carb is having to drive behind. Bobby at the moment, it doesn't seem like that he's having a good time at the moment on this track. He's at the moment 39 seconds behind Breaking Bad, so he's even further behind than he probably should have been. And talking about he was in the chat and all that. Dome now on the exit of the Ravazzas. He's gonna have Vossi behind him, overtaking him. Use of 3 seconds. Vossi should get Dome on the straight, but as well Lighty's trying to go for the move on Leo on the inside. Bobby 3 seconds, but Lighty doesn't go for the move. And Max Fan closes in on Lighty a lot, and he loses the back end on the exit of turn 3. And as well loses the back end as he tries to rejoin the track, and he's gonna lose almost a position to the V-Carb of Brandon, who is driving absolutely flawlessly on this race. But Max Fan, that loss of rear end has caused him to go 6 seconds behind Lighty. And the teamwork that the McLarens were doing, and also my prediction goes completely out of the window of Max Van winning this race. Meanwhile, in front, Dome is doing a mega job of keeping Vos behind. Of course, it's not gonna be like this for really much longer, since Vos is gonna get an easy overtake on Dome on the main straight. Sorrow 3 seconds. Dylan 3 seconds. That whole train behind Oliver has 3 seconds. Not even the train. Vossi goes into the pits, interestingly. Lighty tries to go for the move on Leo, and both of them should get Dome on this straight. Or is Lighty gonna get Dome? Is he gonna get him? No, he won't get him on this straight. So Lighty's still in P2. Vossi goes into the pits early, tries to go for the undercut, which works on this game a lot. It really works on this game. Yusuf as well goes into the pits. And of course, Bobby's strategies will sort of work. But as well, what was happening to him a lot in this race hasn't really helped him. Vossi is a lot in front of Bobby. That's like a lot. Let's just say Ryan spun again. This time in Tossa, but not on the straight exit, like on the apex of the Tossa. Ryan not having a great season at the moment in the Red Bull. He was talking like a lot, pressuring Zara to get that seat, but at the end it's not working. It's just not working at the end at all. Breaking Bad stays out. In the meantime, is anyone going to pit? Dome is going to pit. Leo as well is going to pit. Lighty is going to get a free DRS from Dome, of course. I mean, he would have gotten that DRS anyways, and he would have overtaken him anyways. But this means that he just got a free overtake. Panda stays out as pretty much almost half the grid pits. I mean, there's a lot. Max Van as well pits. A lot of drivers have pitted. Almost, like I say, almost half the grid And Volsey is going to be in front of Dome and Leo, but by a lot. I was saying that the undercut is worth a lot, and Volsey is 1.6 seconds in front of Dome. Dome was in front of Volsey, and he would have been behind Volsey if Volsey would have actually stayed out and all that, but he's 1.8 seconds in front of Dome. Max Fan, another 3-second time penalty. Mr. Mine as well in the pits. Not having a good race himself. Lighty is going to stay a lot in this race. Breaking Bad goes into the pits now, because you don't want to overspeed into the pits, and he doesn't. Lighty takes the lead of the Grand Prix on lap 15. As Breaking Bad pits, Breaking Bad should be... I mean, he's going to be in front of Ryan. I think so. Yusuf, another 3 seconds. Brandon and Panda as well pit. Ryan, of course, stays out. Actually, Ryan is going to be in front of Breaking Bad. Yeah, actually, Breaking Bad is going to be in front of Ryan. Sorry, Ryan is going to be in front of Breaking Bad. Just about. But the gap shouldn't be too big for him to not catch him immediately. And honestly, Breaking Bad is going to get an easy overtake on Ryan when he's going to catch him. Basically now, but into Tossa he cannot really overtake. Maybe into Piratella. I mean, Ryan is very slow on the exit of Tossa, and he could actually try and go for the move into Piratella. Ryan is trying to defend himself, and Breaking Bad is gonna... Breaking Bad tries to go for the move. Pushes Ryan off. I mean, that's a little bit questionable attacking by Breaking Bad. That's a little questionable from the Ferrari. I mean, he might get a penalty if Ryan reports that. This is all if Ryan reports it. If he reports this... I mean, it depends who is going to report. I mean, anyone can really report this. But that was a little bit questionable by Breaking Bad, but if it worked, then it worked. But honestly, it's just the question, is it really legal? I would answer no, because that's really just pushing Ryan off the circuit. Punt to pass, you might say. Max Van overtakes Bobby easily. Volsey getting another 3 seconds. Now Volsey has to attack Ryan, but I think Volsey is going to have an easy job of actually not overtaking him into Tossa. Lighty gets a 3-second time penalty through Aquaman Raleigh, which is going to be very important. Bobby gets a 3 seconds. Almost everyone has a 3 second besides Mr. Mine, 2 V-Carbs, 2 Ferraris, and then Leo behind Brandon. What has happened to Brandon? Brandon has spun it. Brandon, the master of Imola, has binned it through Villeneuve chicane, and he's behind Tom now, pressured a little bit by Panda. So a good race that he has had at the moment has turned into, well, now he's gonna have to think about when he's gonna try and attack people now, because otherwise it's not looking good for him, because he doesn't even have the DRS on Tom, so he's gonna get probably eaten by Panda. Panda neither having a good race. Volsey overtakes Ryan easily. Max on the fastest lap, 15.598. But yeah. Breaking Bad closing in on Lighty a lot. I mean, Lighty is going to be behind Breaking Bad easily. Max Fan, another 3 seconds. Let's just see what the penalties are looking like. Lighty 3 seconds. Volsey, Max Fan, Yusuf and Dylan have 9 seconds. Then 6 seconds have Bobby, Boss, Sarah and Kettle. And then the rest have 3 seconds, which are Panda, Tom, Faisal, Jamie, Ryan and Lighty. Buzz joins the 9 second club. And then the rest that are Breaking Bad, Dome, Leo, Oliver, Brandon and mine haven't got a single penalty in this Grand Prix. Tom gets a 3-second time penalty. Now Dome is gonna should get an easy take on Ryan. Ryan has no ERS. Should get him easily. Leo, is he gonna be able to get him? Yes, he is gonna be able to get him. Is he gonna be able to get Dome? No, he won't. Doesn't want to go for the overtake on Dome. So both of them overtake Ryan easily. Ryan just trying to stay in. Will try to stay in that DRS, but will not be able to stay in that probably. These two though are gonna fight for the podium. Maybe P2, maybe P3. But at the moment, Volsi has 6 seconds of penalties, if I remember right. 9 seconds. So, I mean, they're gonna at the moment they're gonna be fighting for P3. Of course, when Lighty pits, which is gonna be soon, because I mean it's gonna be soon when he pits. Then of course they'll be in front as Sorrow spins and doesn't damage his front wing. It looked like he damaged it, but he doesn't. So it's a Kick Sauber 19 and 20. The 1 and 2 that you don't want to have, basically. Boss overtakes Jamie on the exit of Variante Alta. I mean, this train has been very close, but just how no one can overtake Oliver is just crazy to me. Jamie and Faisal having their own little scrap through Variante Alta, Rivazza. Boss is not able to overtake Oliver. Then there's almost 3 wide. There's 2 wide between Tom and Jamie, and Tom is on the inside of the Tamburello. So Jamie is in front. Yusuf retires in the pits. I mean, a disastrous race compared to what he had in Japan. Japan was a lot better P3, but at that moment, Yusuf will not score any points as he retired from the race. Sorrow overtakes Kettle through Tamburello. The gap is getting smaller and smaller as Lighty extends his stint, but of course, if when he extends his stint, then the better and better his tires will be till the end of this Grand Prix. And there is Yusuf, but that's just AI. Breaking Bad 12.67 tenths to Lighty. Then behind 4.7 to Volsi. Volsi has that 9 seconds. Mr. Mine gets a 3-second time penalty. Dome should get an easy overtake, as well as Maxman gets an easy overtake on Ryan. Behind, there's a massive scrap between Jamie and Faisal yet again, but Jamie excuse me, gets a better run, and Faisal is behind, but Brandon is trying to get him as well, and he gets him as well to turns 2 and 3. So Faisal all of a sudden, while fighting, trying to get P12, has lost a position, and he's down to P14. And of course with Brandon, now Jamie's trying to defend from Brandon. Brandon has a lot of pace, 1 lap pressure tires, but doesn't matter as much. He almost gets a better exit, but unfortunately Jamie got that better exit. Brandon doesn't really need to do anything. There's the yellows that's Dylan spun through the Villeneuve chicane. Like I was saying, Brandon Adon doesn't really need to do anything. His rivals in front have penalties. I mean, there's a whole row of penalties till Leo. So, I mean, the penalties are going up like 9 seconds. But it doesn't really matter, since the gap from Boss to Bobby is like 7 seconds. So, and it will go up. So for Brandon, it doesn't really matter anyways if the cars in front have 3, 6, 9. If it's 12, then yeah, like Bobby, Ryan, but it ain't gonna make a difference later on. Oliver gets in front of Boss, so there's finally some battling for that P9. The first sort of, what is it called? The flippin' first part of the train that is leading it has changed finally. But it's Oliver yet again back in there. Sorrow and Ketzel yet again fighting for P16. There's a big, I mean, there's like 3 categories in here. There's 3 categories. There is Sauber and Haas in their own group. Then there's group of Oliver, Buzz, Tom, Jamie, Brandon, and Faisal, and Panda in here. And then the rest are just spread out, besides Leo and Dome. Lighty's still staying out there. Is he going for the softs? That could be an interesting thing. Dylan, 3 seconds. Boss should get a move on Oliver on the straight, unless he has no ERS. Seems like that he has. Oliver as well, though. The gap is not going to be enough for Boss, though, to catch up to him. Actually, Tom is going to be catching up to him. Actually not. I lied. The rest of the train stays the same. Bobby, 3 seconds. Breaking Bad is catching up to Lighty a lot, down to 9.7 seconds. Bobby gets Ryan on those hearts, still staying out there. Panda's getting a 3 second, and as well someone else as well getting a 3 seconds. At the moment, it is only Breaking Bad, Dome, Leo, and Brandon that have penalties. Behind Mr. Mine and oi. Oh, that was an issue, and Mine spins it around on the X of turn 4. Contact between Dylan and Mine, and unfortunately led to this. Lighty finally going into the pits, but he goes for the mediums. So a final last 10 push laps on those mediums. Of course, he has a 3 second time penalty, so he won't be able to really try and get the win. Unless Breaking Bad gets a 3 seconds. He is in front of his own teammates. He might be behind Bobby and Ryan. Ryan is going for the inside of Lighty, and Ryan spins. Yeah. Bobby as well almost lost control of his car. Ryan, yeah, that's his race done. And it will be pretty much no points for Red Bull yet again. Again, Red Bull, no points. This is a disaster for Red Bull. First 4 races, absolute disaster for them. Absolute disasters. He'll be in front of Sorrow, but he's going to be 20 plus seconds behind Faisal. Brandon getting at 3 seconds finally, so unfortunately... this penalty group is rather ridiculous. Maxon, how many penalties does he have? 9. So, oh, actually, Volsi has 12. So, Dome and Leo will go for the P2. They're scrapping at for P2 and P3 at the moment. They're gonna have podium nonetheless. But, Leo going for the move on Dome. But it just depends. Will they get 22 points or 20? And as well, but they got P2 and P3. Or P3. Of course, now at the moment, it looks like Ferrari are going to get their podium in their home soil, but it just depends. Is it going to be a 1-2 or 1-3? Ryan goes into the pits. Leo gets a 3 second. Behind, pretty much the same throughout the pack. Ball's getting a 3 second time penalty yet again. Lights, of course, is going to be catching up a lot on Max Fan and pretty much everyone in front of him. But he as well has a 3 seconds. Only a 3 second, which is impressive. In front here, though, Boss, mistake. Mistake by Maz, it seems like. There's a lot... something flying around. Ryan spinning on the exit of the Tamburello. Yeah, it's not looking good for Ryan at all. Kettle spun, as well as Boss earlier made a mistake, and he's 2 seconds behind Faisal. Lighty fastest lap 15.550. He's 2.8 seconds behind his teammate, with 8 laps to go. So there's still plenty of laps to. I mean, at the moment he's in front of his own teammate. If the race finishes like this, then he is in front of his own teammate. Behind, Tom overtakes Oliver into the Tamburello, which are turn 2, 3, and 4. Lighty 3 seconds yet again. So the gap is. I mean, he's gonna get Max Van if it finishes like this. Boss, yet another mistake. If it finishes like this, then he's gonna get Max Van. But I mean, the gap to Volsi's seems like it's 9 seconds. It is about 9 seconds, roughly. So, he has 6 seconds to Volsi, so he can maybe steal the P4 from Volsi. Because Volsi at the moment with this pace, he's not doing anything really. He's not going away from Dome and Leo. These two are just switching places. Not all the time. Not every single lap, but there are sometimes switching places. Ryan is going to be harassing Breaking Bad a little bit. Breaking Bad having a dominant performance, even if he gets a 5 second for that collision with Ryan, then it doesn't really matter at this moment. So he can take that one. Well, actually, he can't, because he will get a quali ban for the next race, which is Spain. Buzz going for the pits. He's going to be behind Dylan, who almost loses the car on the exit of the final corner. I mean, technically he lost it, but he recovered it. And Saro is going to get a good run on Dylan, and Dylan is behind Saro. Somehow, with Saro and Dylan fighting this whole race, and Sauber and Haas fighting for the whole race, they could be actually going for an actual point in this Grand Prix, and it would be Saro who is going for that point. Saro, of course, there goes Dylan just on the apex of Tossa, and he's now behind Mr. Mine. This is not good, of course. Actually terrible. Dome gets a 3 second time penalty, so he's going for the P3 at the moment only for the P3. Leo has that P2 in his hands at the moment. Just needs to keep Dome within his DRS, and he's gonna be fine. For Volsi, it's a little bit more open. Ryan, 3 seconds. Another one. Behind Breaking Bad, there's Ketzel and Ryan, ironically. Lighty, of course, overtaking Max Van earlier in this lap. Now, this is going to be a little bit interesting for Dome, because Lighty is catching up. He has 3 seconds. Lighty has 6. The gap is about 4 seconds to Dome. 3.5 to Leo. So it could be actually that Lighty could be in front of Dome, and then somehow he pulls away. Somehow, Dylan retires in the pits. In the meantime, Ryan overtakes Kettle. I thought Ryan had a... again... Yeah. I mean, I don't have any sort of words for this, what is happening with Red Bull. I mean, you can sort of joke around and all that, but honestly, you have to somewhat feel bad for them. For Zara, for Ryan and Yusuf. I mean, they're getting outscored massively by the V-Corps. This is a little bit embarrassing, in my opinion. I mean, V-Corps are having a actually beautiful season. They're having a beautiful season. Yeah. Saro is in front of Buzz. Buzz has 15 seconds, okay. So, unless Buzz is gonna switch on his inner Ayrton Senna, then he's not pulling away from Saro to 6 seconds. He needs to catch up to Saro, which is 4 seconds, and then pull away from Saro, which is 6 seconds, in just 3 laps. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Lighty is not really catching up to Leo, though. He's not really catching up. It's the gap is, of course, rising to a little bit more than 3 seconds. There is Ryan in the background spinning once again. Brandon, Jamie's mistake, it seems like, on the exit of the Revattas, and he's gonna tumble down to P13, although he's side-by-side with Faisal. But he's on the left-hand side. Is he gonna send it? No, he is not gonna send it. He's dropping down from P10 to P13, just with that little mistake. I mean, this train has been going on from the beginning of the race. And this mistake, it costed him a good amount of points. And unfortunately, dropping out of P13 is the consequence. Breaking Bad is going to start lap 30 out of 32. Boss is going to go into the pits. So it is almost a guaranteed point for the team from Switzerland that has gambling problems and all that. They're going to score more points than Red Bull in this race. And Ryan spun again. Leo overtakes Dome. Bobby 3-second time penalty, yet another one. Actually, Bobby's not looking that good at the moment. He could be actually... the penalties... Ooh, the penalties could be actually pretty hurtful for Bobby. Because he has 12 seconds. He could be actually outside of the top 10. Ooh. That's very interesting. Ryan retires in the pits. So it's official. Sauber are going to outscore Red Bull in this Grand Prix, which is, I think, once again that they're gonna do this. Until another 3 seconds. This is terrible. He has been doing an absolute flawless job in this Grand Prix to get no penalties, but now he has 6 seconds, and Lighty has as well 6 seconds. So it's back into game on between Dome and Lighty. Breaking Bad has already started lap 31 out of 32. Started 3 seconds, but that's not really important. Bobby has dropped down. He is behind his teammate Faisal. Mistake, it seems like, on the exit of Aqua Minerali, and he's dropped down to P12. He's gonna be behind Jamie now, confirmed, since he has 12 seconds compared to Jamie's 6 seconds. I'll just double check, but yeah, he has 12 seconds. Actually, Mr. Mine as well is gonna get that point, not Sorrow. A little fact, I thought Kettle had 24 seconds of penalties. He doesn't. For Lighty, he needs to catch up to Dome, but Dome has 100% ERS. Lighty has only got 10%. So on this lap, he needs to catch up to him as quick as possible. Bobby spun out on the exit of the Tamburello. This race has been a handful, a big one. Tom getting another 3 second time penalty. Lighty has the DRS. Actually, does he? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the DRS. Breaking Bad starts the final lap of this Grand Prix. Absolute flawless job by him. But Lighty doesn't have the DRS, so he's gonna be on the back foot going into this final lap, onto this straight line. And Dome is gonna overtake Leo. Of course, Leo is just gonna let him pass because Dome has 6 seconds compared to his 0. And even if Leo is gonna get a penalty somehow, he still has a buffer of Dome having 6 and him none. Lighty 1.6 seconds down, so he's not looking like he's gonna get that P3, or at least like catch up to Dome. It's not looking like he's gonna catch up. Meanwhile, behind Tom, he's overtaken Oliver for that P7. This whole grid has a massive amount of penalties. It looks like Brandon is gonna come out of this whole grid as a winner and finishing P7. But we go to Breaking Bad. Absolutely dominant performance here in the Ferrari's backyard. And through the 2 final corners, no penalties even for our race winner. Breaking Bad wins the Italian Grand Prix, takes back his championship lead. What I'm trying to say. Absolute dominant performance by Breaking Bad. Of course, that incident with Ryan is a bit controversial, but anyways, Dome P2, P3, sorry, Leo P2, Dome P3, Lighty P4, Vorsi P5, then it's Max Van, then this whole ass group. It's gonna get a little bit interesting. Brandon has 3 seconds, so that's confirmed. Tom is gonna drop down massively. Brandon is gonna pick up P7, Oliver P8, and then the 2 Williamses P9, P10, Tom P11, Faisal P12, Bobby It's gonna be P13 with no wing even. If Bobby would actually lose a little bit more time, then Sara would actually catch him. Actually, Mr. Mine didn't even. He's not finished in front of Sara because Sara was not lapped. Mine was. Yeah, Bobby's gonna pick up P13. Sara P14, the 1 point from this Grand Prix. But what a performance by the Ferraris. 1 and 3 from the prancing horses. Absolute dominant performance by them. Lighty. I mean, from P10. I mean, on this track it's kind of difficult to do anything. So you could say it, but as well a little bit of an underwhelming performance from him. Not getting that lap done, and then as well finishing P4. Vorsi, who finished on track P2 with mass amount of penalties, 12 seconds, finished P5. Max Van with those 12 seconds somehow managed to finish P6. But honestly, to drive of the day, in my opinion, it's either Leo or the 2 V-Carbs. In my opinion. Red Bull, it's again no points. Mercedes shouldn't be the last. I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, a disastrous race for Red Bull yet again. Yet another race where they are an absolute mess. They just cannot put anything together. Besides Suzuka, where they got P3. Of course, Scuderia Ferrari HP is gonna extend their championship lead as well in the constructors. Breaking Bad is gonna extend his championship driver's lead in the drivers' championship a lot. And yeah, honestly, either Leo or Breaking Bad is. I mean, the contenders, in my opinion, are Breaking Bad, Leo, and the 2 V-Carbs. Those are my contenders for the driver today. Yeah, it is how it is. This race has been rather interesting. I mean, very interesting. So yeah, there's gonna be, of course, many arguments in the Discord about the track limits, like this, but I mean, people had the pole and drivers had the pole, and you know, and they voted to keep this race, so they can only blame themselves that they kept this and got all the penalties. Yeah, like I said, driver today is either Breaking Bad, Leo, or the 2 V-Carbs. That's at least the nominees, in my opinion. Next race is Spain. Slight question mark on that. But I'm not in there. I'm gone for Spain and Austria.